All right, we're here with Jasmine Alvarez, also known as Jazz. And Jazz is a younger player in the program. She is a freshman in college. And so let's just learn a little bit more about your journey as a student athlete because you've overcome a lot to be able to play at both the WPSL level and at a high level junior college in California. So, where are you from originally? Where did you go to high school and where were your parents from?
So I was born and raised in Reno, Nevada, but my parents, my dad was born here and my mom is from Mexico City. So yeah, I speak Spanish and English. I'm bilingual. I went to high school at Demonte Ranch. I played 4 years in 4 years varsity at Demonte. Yeah.
Okay. And when did you start playing for me and kind of being coached by me?
So I've been coached by her since I was 14 years old. Played on WPSL since then. Well, kind of on and off, but
Yeah. But you competed with our
but
team.
I competed with you for a while now.
Yeah. So you were about 13 or 14 when you scored versus the team from Mexico that we played?
Yeah, I was 14. I was the youngest player.
Yeah.
there.
So the youngest player when we were playing in an international tournament, we were hosting a team from north of Mexico City called Real Actopan, and you scored the opening goal.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty big deal for being such a young player.
Mhm.
But you pretty much just did like you've been there before when you scored that goal. It was a great header.
Mhm.
But that was for me when I kind of realized that you really did have something special as a player. You know, and for you to come all the way, you're driving 2 hours there, 2 hours back.
Every day or every
Whenever
weekend.
we had games,
yeah.
you know, and just for you to put that type of dedication as a player, and you could have played for a lot of different teams. You did play for other teams, but the reality was you weren't getting very many opportunities to get scouted, which was a challenge. What do you think about the whole like pay to play system in America, and how is that kind of challenge for you? You know, from like you come from a family where you're basically the first in your family to go to college. So your parents, they graduated high school, but they didn't attend college?
Well, my mom, she graduated from high school, but my dad didn't, so it was kind of a big deal that I graduated.
You were able to graduate,
Yeah.
pass all your classes, and you were a student athlete varsity for 4 years.
Yeah.
So that's a big shift that you're being such a leader. And how many kids are in your family?
There's 5 of us, so
Yeah, oldest of 5.
yeah.
It's a lot of responsibility. To
Take
be
care
kind
of them and like go to school and
So
everything.
you had to help with your siblings, be a full-time student, train yourself, and then you had to travel to even be able to compete.
Yeah.
Because I mean, what's the highest level here in Reno currently? There is one college team now. There's the junior college team, but if you don't make it on that D1 program, there's not a lot of opportunities to play
Nope.
or get scouted for even other schools for scholarship opportunities. So, what for you was one of the hardest challenges growing up to even compete as a soccer player?
So for me, it was money. Like, my mom had to work 2 jobs to get like food and stuff. So like, I couldn't even go to the like teams that I wanted to play for, and just money was a really big deal for me.
Yeah, so it's tough because there's a lot of talented players. Like you clearly
Yeah.
had talent at a young age, but you didn't have the ability to go play for the Olympic developmental program. You didn't have the ability to play for these big travel teams and go to tournaments, you know,
Yeah.
every weekend. And so, when did you start playing with adults?
13 years old.
So you're playing with adult women,
Yeah.
you know, at a very young age. But even though that was kind of, you know, when you're younger, you couldn't have played for the big club teams, but it was kind of an advantage because you played with adults at a really young
Yeah, I
age.
got the experience and stuff.
Yeah, how has that helped you to be able to compete against teams like California Storm and the Nighthawks? And you were the only girl on our team to assist and score versus the number 1 team in the conference. Do you think that by playing against adults at a young age that helped develop you to be able to score goals versus teams from Mexico and WPSL?
Yeah, like just getting the experience helped me a lot. Like you just learn on how like they play and like fast pace and stuff. So playing at a young age really helped me a lot. Just I don't know, like it was just something that not everybody gets to do at a young age and stuff.
And even in your fitness level with girls, you know, now you're competing at Folsom Lake College, which is a ranked junior college. They've worked with a lot of really great players. But even compared to just your initial fitness test, like what is the difference between you who played against adults and WPSL versus some of the girls who never had that experience?
Well, I can say that I have way more like skill level than some of the girls on my team, and like just my fitness level is like higher than the girls on my team. Like even with you, just training with you got me like to be top at my college.
Because you're training with the men and you're competing against players or even women who are playing at the D1 or have played it at top level.
Yeah.
And then you actually earned WPSL All-Conference as a senior in high school, which is pretty amazing because the women who are earning these awards play at Berkeley, they play at Stanford, they play at Santa
way
Clara,
older than me and
much more experience, but you earned All-Conference nomination, which is like out of, our conference of, say, 7 teams, you earned a top 20 player. And, going into those games, you're competing against women who are 4-year D1, there's former professional players, and you're able to compete and score about them. What's kind of your fire that helps you train, even when you're out here in Reno by yourself? What are some of the thoughts and motivations that you have as a player?
Like you say, champion mentality. If you want to be somewhere in life, you have to stick to your plan and stick to your goals that you have set for yourself. I want to play professional, so something that has pushed me to keep going is just train on my own and do stuff on my own, because at the end of the day, no one's gonna push you to do what you want to do. It's yourself.
Yeah. I mean, even getting stats as a 17-year-old, or even when you were, 14 and 15 competing against these grown women, that comes from a certain place inside that you have that fire, that you don't make excuses. You go do your running, you go push the ball, and no one's holding your hand. Because your parents are both working really hard just to pay your bills. They don't have money for a trainer, they don't have money for fancy equipment, and you just really have your ball and yourself. And you go run on your own, you go touch the ball on your own. Have you noticed a difference with some of the players who you have either played with or against, who might have more financial means, but they don't have that fire, and how, what are your thoughts on that, in the American soccer system?
Well, people that have money, they get, they take advantage, they don't take advantage of it. They just take it for granted. They have the money, and, they're just there to be there. And so, people that don't have the money, they are more grateful of stuff, and, they actually want to do something in life and just go with it.
Yeah, because there's a lot of girls that you've played against and with, they may never go on to play at the collegiate level. And they might have been talented. There's a lot of talented women and girls in Northern Nevada that play, but do they truly have that desire to drive all the way to California and put in the work on their own time? Because even if they get over there, it's very competitive.
Yeah.
Those women at that top level, how fast are they compared to girls here?
It was so fast.
So fast, right? They're faster than some of the men. Because the level for WPSL is the highest level in California. It is the top level. Now they're doing that professional team in LA, but there's professional level players in this league. And how is that for you going in as a younger player? What is your mentality going into that?
Well, just being the youngest player is a motivation for me. If I become somewhere in life, then good for me. But I don't really know.
Just pushing yourself.
Just pushing myself,
just so you
and
can,
prove a point that
What are some of the challenges you see as being the first in your family to go to college? Do you have friends or family that don't really support what you're doing? Have you noticed a shift in having to be alone a lot more just to be successful? What are some of the struggles you've had to overcome, just being the first in your family to do it?
Well, my parents supported me since I was young, so there was not really much there. But just living on my own now to become successful was kind of hard for me. Just living away from them and not having their support there, but it was just basically that.
Yeah, it's tough here to be a college athlete.
Yeah.
Not exactly easy. Those who are succeeding have to be very self-motivated, because I'm sure a lot of your teammates may not be doing as much as you, but you're still out there touching the ball and running on your own, training when you can, just so that you get that opportunity. What are some of the challenges as coming from a family where there isn't as much money, and what are some things that coaches could do to support you and other athletes like you? Growing up, you had to play for where you could play, but what could have people have done, in the soccer system, to have supported you? Because you could have been playing on bigger teams.
Yeah, well, I was stuck playing for Lady Jaguars for a while until you came along, helped me to do something go to Folsom and stuff, because they really didn't help me. They just took me to tournaments, this and that, but they never
they didn't really guide you in the process.
They never really guided me. And they would always tell my parents, basically lie to my parents. They're oh yeah, well, we'll go to these college case shows, and just take me to places, but they never really
There was no continuation.
There was really nothing. There was just a basically
false promises.
Yes,
So
and it was just frustrating.
There's a lot of other players like you that get false promises from coaches, but there's no actual end goal of a scholarship.
Yeah.
Or an opportunity to play a semi-professional, professional, or collegiate level.
Basically, all my teammates were like that too. They just got false promises. We never really did anything but go to California to compete, or somewhere Vegas. That was the only 2 tournaments we would really go to.
And is going to tournaments the reason that you're going to college though?
No. it was really.
So then, you know, when you look at the soccer system in America, people want to go to these tournaments, but is that really the reason why you're going to be on a big opportunity? You know, like that wasn't the reason why. Really, it came from more of your hard work, your dedication in school and soccer, and then having some opportunities through like our team with Azteca and Premier Mile. But, you know, it's hard because I look back on it and I see a lot of young girls like you with talent, and then I see them just get lied to. And a lot of times they don't want to listen, but like you listened.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of girls we both know that just kind of believed it, and then they just cave, and then they fall apart. They lose their fitness. They might end up, you know, having kids really young and then dropping out. I mean, how many girls have we seen fall apart?
Yeah.
And they were talented, very talented players, and they just, you know, kind of they buy the lies, and they could go somewhere and get a degree. But
yeah, they just really never go anywhere. But you know, just here and like those Spanish leagues and stuff, like.
And they think that just like winning that championship against the same teams every year. The same players, the same teams.
The same players, same teams.
Same league, same people who can score, and they just never really go anywhere. And then they think they're really hot stuff, but they've never gone to compete against teams like CalStorm, Nighthawks, MBLA, San Ramon. And those are all
top notch.
Those are all women who play at the top level.
Yeah.
You know, and any of those teams can come over here and just, you know,
destroy everybody.
Yeah. But you know, they're just, and also I don't know if it's like a fear thing, but you had the courage to actually take the chance because you weren't great. I mean, you were good at 14, but you're like, I need to do better because you got a taste of it, and then you came back and worked on your game. And then when you came back last year, you started every game for us, scored and assisted, and made all conference at 17 years old. And then now you get to play at a top junior college, which has a very good, you know, track record of putting girls D1, D2, and NAIA. But you know, like you took it upon yourself. I didn't have to force you to go run your miles. You just were like, I want to get better.
Yeah.
And you took responsibility at a young age, which is not common with a lot of girls in this area. So, if you could give your younger self advice, or younger girls that might be watching this, what are some of the things you would tell them that has helped you become so successful at such a young age?
Just never give up. That's like one of the main things. Always set goals for yourself and like strive to do better. Don't let people just tell you like lie to you, and like just don't stay in the same place. Like go somewhere and like just do what you want to do. Get good grades. That's one of the things that has helped me. Is get good grades and just go to school.
What are you majoring in?
Criminal justice.
What are your kind of plans if you don't? So you would like to go play professional, which is a great goal. But if you don't play professional, what is kind of like your career plan?
I want to do criminal justice to become either a game unit officer or a probation officer. If that doesn't work out, then I don't know. I have to think about that.
But it's a good target.
But it's a good target,
yeah. You know, because a lot of players think they're just going to go pro.
Yeah.
And then they take a major that may not have a career path. You know, like we both know players who thought they were going to go pro, and now where are they playing?
Yeah.
Back in the leagues that we played in growing up, you know, and those leagues don't exactly get you opportunities. They're a place to play, but they're not going to get you on that next career path. So, what are some of the challenges you see being in a team or in a collegiate level where a lot of the girls didn't have your background, right? Like, so you grew up in an economic level that was a struggle, that your parents provided a lot for you, so you could even play. But, you know, sometimes it's tough when you play with women who maybe had it all. What are some of the transitions you've kind of gone through as a player, just like learning how to relate with, you know, people in California or girls who came from different backgrounds?
Sometimes, like, girls just see me as, like, just an original player. Like, it was just, like, one of those players that, like, had it all, just like them. But, like, some girls see me different, too. Like, some of the girls on my, like, college team, I don't know, they just, there's this one girl on my team that she's, like, the all-star on the team or something like that. But, like, every time that I would go to practice, she would just, like, look at me and, like, oh, it's just another, like, regular player and this and that. But, like, when it comes to time to, like, play, like, that's where I get to show who I am.
Yeah, like, prove yourself.
Yeah.
Do you think that by struggling when you're younger, it has made you that much better of a player? Like, if you had those opportunities, do you think you would have made all conference or gotten onto these types of teams?
Yes.
If it had been just, like, given to you, do you think you would be as good, or do you think that struggling made you better?
I think struggling made me better, honestly.
Made you hungrier?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, do you think you would have been as hungry to go run on your own if it was going to be like, oh, here's your scholarship?
No.
Right?
I was just laid back or, you know, just
like,
chill.
because we know girls who do that and kind of have it given to them, and then they kind of just...
They just
don't care.
They throw their chances away.
Yeah. What do you think in regards to just being a woman that's going to play a collegiate sport? Because a lot of girls we know, what do the parents tell them? You know, be pretty. Well, and you can be pretty, but they don't really emphasize being a strong, fast athlete. And you compete against my men's team in training. So you're trying to compete to be top 3 in fitness. And you've earned it a couple times where you've beaten out some of the men on the fitness test. What would you tell a younger girl when they tell her, oh, like, mija, no debes hacer eso? Like, what would you tell that younger girl? And, like, what if you had to tell yourself? Because it's hard, you know, culturally to be a strong female athlete, lift weights, run, when not everyone is doing that. And it's almost seen as, like, oh, she's being different.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It was kind of hard for me, but, like, soccer is not just for men. It's for girls, too. And, like, if you want to succeed, then you have to put in that work and don't, like, people put you down just because, like, girls are trying to play soccer, too, and stuff. But, I mean, you have to go through that in order to succeed. So, I mean, just stay tough, stay, like, champion mentality and stuff to get through that.
Yeah. Have you had girls kind of target you since you've come back because you're such a good player?
Oh, yeah.
Where they'll try to go after you when you play other types of levels of soccer?
Yeah, like...
And people, like, saying things to you and...
Yeah, like, well, recently I just had a game and, like, the coach would, like, just tell the girls to target me, to, like, put 3 girls on me and, like...
And try to, like, hurt you.
Try to hurt me and stuff. Like, that one game, like, she just slide tackled me and took me out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was...
Do you think that it's, like... I think that, you know, coming from... Because I came from Rio, too, and then I had to go and, like, up my game by going to California and going out of state, right? I mean, it's definitely, I think, a challenge because you grow up here, you play in these leagues. You know, I played varsity 4 years as well. But when you leave, you're like, wow, like, I have so much more to work on as a player.
Yeah.
And then when you come back, they'll, like, try to target you.
Because you got way better.
And because they know that you've gone and made it, and they try to, like, hurt you, basically. I mean, I think that it's a tough thing to be a female athlete coming from a community where it's, like, not always encouraged. Because not a lot of girls from, you know, these areas really go on to play WPSL, D1, Pro. I mean, we've actually, technically, I don't think Nevada's ever produced a pro female player.
No.
You know, and even to go and play at junior college is a big deal. And it means, like, you're breaking that cycle of just, you know, you graduate. I mean, to even graduate high school, I mean, there's a lot of high dropout rates in Northern Nevada where people just don't graduate, they don't care. And they just, like, you know, they don't really want to pursue that excellence academically and athletically. So, I mean, you're basically, you know, coming out of a state where it's not even that popular to go and pursue it, and then you have to go push yourself in the most competitive conference against teams that are ranked number 1. I mean, you scored against the Storm in the playoffs in a professional stadium. How was that feeling to, like, assist and score versus Cal Storm?
Honestly, it was, like, a good accomplishment. Like, I scored against one of the top teams, and, like, it was just something that, like, I would never forget because it was such a big game.
Yeah. I mean, you got to play in a professional stadium during a playoff game. That's a pretty big deal for a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
Most women never accomplish that in their life. And to represent the club and to be nominated for all conference. So that's just another testament to, like, your hard work ethic that you earned that position. It wasn't given to you. Because there's plenty of other women that could have been playing on that position. But you earned that place, and then you didn't become complacent. In fact, you've even been training harder after that. Because you came out of the summer season and you've been just training even harder to be in the collegiate level. So props to you on that.
Thank you.
Do you have any stories of growing up of just, like, having to overcome challenges as a student athlete?
Yeah, so, like, when I first started playing soccer, like, I was very, like, advanced for my age, like, because we would play U7 and stuff, and I would be, like, my game would be, like, U12 or U11, so it was, like, way higher than that, and, like, some of the parents would, like, tell me stuff. They're like, oh, like, take this girl out of the game, blah, 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 and, like, they would just give me a hard time, like, while I was playing.
So you're getting, like, people on the sideline telling you stuff.
Yeah, it was not.
So it's not just the fact that you're playing up 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Because you've always been playing up, but you have people, like, saying nasty things to you.
Yeah, it
like,
was
the
like
whole time you're playing. So you have to deal with that psychology too.
So yeah, it was like mostly every game, and, like, I was very young too, so it was, like, kind of, like, hard to, like, even overcome that. And I just learned, like, not to listen to people, just do what I have to do on the field and stuff. And yeah, it was just very hard for me, and, like, just the fact that my parents didn't have money either, like, they couldn't take me to places that other girls, like, could have gone and stuff. It was just very hard for me.
But you persisted.
But I kept going and stuff, like.
Because you had lots of opportunities to quit.
Yeah.
Like, lots of people were talking smack. It was hard, traveling, trying to find a way to get to games, just, like, even getting an opportunity, but you took advantage of it. And now you're doing excellent. You just achieved so much more than, you know, other girls in your age group. So I was always impressed. I mean, when I saw you score the goal versus a team from Mexico as a 13, 14-year-old, I was just like, wow, this girl just drove 2 hours, hopped in the game, and just scored a goal at an international level, essentially. And I'll never forget that because it's very hard to find younger girls that have the courage to do that. Because, you know, a lot of times we're told, oh, that's not for you.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be that aggressive. You shouldn't be so tenacious. You shouldn't be trying to be the best because we're just told to kind of be polite and
be a little girl.
and just listen and not question anything. And you go and train with the men. I mean, you're out there playing on the futsal courts against grown men, competing, trying to score on them against guys that aren't even in our program that we play against. And not a lot of women are even willing to go train against the men. But
because they get scared and all
get scared
stuff.
because they'll tackle hard.
They do.
They tackle very hard.
I mean, I got dropped a couple times, but I mean, it was just motivation to get better.
Instead of quitting, you're like, come back harder. And that's just kind of a great life philosophy I see in you, that you just keep going, even when it's really hard. And it's always a challenge for you because you're having to overcome so much. What are some of the values and things that I've taught you as a coach that have transferred into your soccer career or your academic and athletic career?
So grades have been a big thing, like, for me, and like, just when I met you, you were always like, get good grades and just be a good player and stuff, and you'll get far in life. And like, I kind of took that in mind because like, if you don't have good grades, then you won't be able to play and like get somewhere where you need to be and stuff.
And how is that kind of being in the environment where a lot of girls just don't focus on that, or a lot of players, because they think that it's not necessary? Is it kind of hard to be the only one doing that? Yeah,
it is. Well, school is one of the like main things you have to like focus on, and soccer is like something like extra that's like you. Well, it can kind of open up a lot of doors too. Yeah. But it's not just that. It's just not. Yeah. I mean, your grades are the ones that get you like it opens more doors for you to go in the schools you want to go to and stuff. So. Cool. Any other statements you want to make? No. What would you tell your younger self or a younger girl? Who might be struggling with people saying stuff on the sideline or feeling not really, you know, like helping them? Like, what would you tell them? Just never, like, when people say negative stuff to you, take that as like fuel and like motivation for you to keep going. So when you succeed, those people are gonna have their mouth shut and like they're not gonna like say anything about you. Just always have that champion mentality. Never give up. Always strive to do better because there's always stuff that you can work on to get better. Great. Well, thanks, Jazz.